Hello and welcome to all of you astrology friends out there. Welcome to this reading about the new moon in Leo, and I'm going to have a look at each and every sign where this energy is going to be, but of course starting with the collective and when this is going to happen. It's round and about the 16th of August. It depends where you live. It's round and about the 16th of August that we're going to have at 23 degrees of Leo, the sun and the moon together. So the sun and the moon together in Leo, and let's start with that, with the new moon in Leo. So a new moon is always an ending and a new beginning. It's always the energy of planting the seeds, you could say. And we have that every season around this time of the year. We have that in Leo. So it means that we all have like a setup, an ending, and a new beginning that has to do with self-expression, love, romance, fun, enjoyment, creativity, all the good stuff. Sexuality is also Leo, identity, all the good stuff. And it means that in an area, in an area of our lives, we have an opportunity to start all over. We have an opportunity to finish something up and to start on over in a new way it's the heart chakra basically. And it's a very fiery energy. It's a very spirited energy, and it's greater than life. It's buoyant. What is the downside of Leo? It is like, hey, I'm unique and I am here and you are there, over there. That's the downside. But we're not going to talk about this, right? The downside is pride, in a nutshell. There are other things as well, being bossy and so on. But anyway, so this new energy, what is specific about it? It is squaring up to Uranus. Same old. We have been having Venus squaring Uranus for the whole month of July. And Venus is still very close to the new moon. Venus is at 18 degrees, and then the sun and the moon to get in Leo, and the sun and the moon at 23. So it's very close. So there is a Venusian energy around this new moon, and it's Uranian. Uranus squares up to this energy. So although it is a square is tension, and I've been talking about this Venus square Uranus a lot. I made some videos. Look at my playlist, Venus square Uranus and the Venus retrograde and whatnot. Venus is retrograding there. So this is all about relationships, and this is all about, on a deeper level, the value that we give towards people, things, ourselves, and so on, depending on where this energy is in your chart. So with Uranus, it is about freedom. It is about freedom, and it is about unchaining yourself from being in a rut, from you want more excitement, from you have been fed up with restrictions. That's the Uranian vibe. When we have a Uranus transit in a square, for instance, to the sun, the moon, or Venus, we are fed up with same old. We want to rebel. Because it's a square, it's a bit more unsettling. When it would have been a trine, it would be like you can make changes very easily. And it is not so unsettling. So for a lot of us, we have been feeling this energy for a long time, that in some part of our lives, we want to break free. It's I want to break free, as in the song, for sure. Are there consequences of that? Of course, because Uranus wants honesty, it wants the truth, and it wants excitement and newness in your life, and it wants you to get out of that comfort zone and go for authenticity and reality. But there is, of course, a paradox of this Uranus with these personal planets. If you have that in your natal chart, for instance, an aspect between Uranus and Venus, between Uranus and the moon, or between Uranus and the sun, especially Uranus and Venus, because it's a Venus kind of new moon, you could say, because it's so close to that new moon. Venus square Uranus, this is all the paradox between connection and between freedom. So there is a war going on, you could say, between those two. And that creates those unhealthy attachment styles that can be possible and that can come to the light, the codependence that people have when they choose for one planet. So when you choose for freedom, for instance, there can be that would be you would choose for Uranus in your life, and that would be fun for a while. That means that you're very independent. That means that you don't care about anyone or anything, that you're just you, and that you're just going on your path. But it's no way that you will be able to do Venusian stuff, which is connecting with people. So at some point you will feel isolated, and so that creates the avoidant attachment style, which is not a healthy love style, right? This is about love, right? It's not a healthy love style, because when someone comes too close, you feel the fear of intimacy and you run. On the other hand, you can go for the Venus planet, and especially in Leo, it's very open and it's very real and romantic. You go for the Venus style and you want to connect. It's the only thing you want, but you give up your freedom because of that. So you could become too anxious, too much chasing, for instance, or too much dependent, like look at me. And especially in Leo, why do you not see me? What's wrong with me? That is the Venus square Uranus. It's a fear of rejection. And it looks more obvious for the Venus person who chooses for the Venus that they have a fear of rejection. So this is not about love, by the way. If you want validation from someone else, that's not love. That is trying to manipulate another person to like you. So because you are so fearful of losing them, that's not confidence, and that's not true love. And on the other hand, the Uranus person also fears rejection, because they're going to cut off a relationship even before it starts. So that's in a nutshell. Again, this comes to the surface so strong. So it's important to understand this, and that we go towards a healthy relationship, which is the 50-50, which is I'm confident, I'm not perfect, but I'm good as I am. I'm worthy of love, and I want to invest in someone else as well. That's what we're learning here through these energies of, this is an energy of breakup, especially when relationships has been for a long time very codependent. I have a lot more work now with this Venus square Uranus going on, and I bet I'm not the only astrologer, because this is an energy of breakups. This is an energy of, and don't fear if you say, oh, is my relationship going to break up? It's only going to break up when it's done and when it's supposed to be done. And but it can help you with being aware of, this is a wake-up call for a healthier balance between these two, between independence, which is Uranus, and between Venus, which is connection, because we need both. We need both. And so very interesting energy. But the good news, so it is a bit like unsettling energy for sure, and this new moon as well is a very, you could say, crossroad kind of energy. But Uranus is not going to take away something that is important for your growth. It's not going to do that. So do what you have to do what you can do every single day to be that confident person, or become a bit more that confident person if you're too needy, and to become a little bit more independent, or to become a little bit more connected when you are too, standoffish. So it's an invitation for all of us in our connections and with our projects, or the things that we are involved with, Now, what is the good news? Yes, this is unsettling energy for sure. One of the most, you could say, energetic, high volatile, or how do they say that? A very energetic, high vibration. It's very magnetic as well. It's very intuitive, kind of insights that we are having. And but the good thing is, and that's why I like this new moon so much, at the background we have a grand Earth trine, and that is very stabilizing energy. So that's my favorite thing to see in astrology. When I see someone who wants to changes in their life, like a relationship, a job, and so on, it's all good and well to look for Uranus transits, because that is one that can, and especially when people want quick changes, and you see Uranus, it's a good sign. But it's very unsettling, especially with squares and oppositions. But if you see at the same time stabilizing energy, it shows that people will, notwithstanding the fact they want to break free, they also have the two. It's like the magician in the tarot card, in the tarot. It's like you all have the tools to make it happen, and by being grounded. And the thing that people need when Uranus is very heavy in the charts is groundedness. And so I invite you, where is it that you are afraid to make those changes, and use this energy to be bold and to make the changes, but in a practical way. And you will definitely make the best out of this energy. So it's absolutely very rare that you've got this beautiful grand trine between Mars and Mercury in Virgo, and it's trining Pluto in Capricorn, and it's trining that same Uranus in Taurus. So I'm going to have a look where this Mercury and Mars are helping in Virgo, and I'm going to have a look at the same time what area of life is helping you to overcome or to make this change that is necessary. Or of course, you have your free will. You can do whatever you want to do. You can go against the energy. That's up to you. But to make the best of this energy in a practical way. Another thing that I don't want to forget to mention is that Lilith is involved here. So Lilith is also in Leo, and it's conjoining with the new moon and with Venus. And Lilith is an angry woman, especially in, the representation of Lilith, especially in Leo. It is like the woman, like, I exaggerate here, my best acting styles. It's a lot about, you're not looking at me, you don't see me, I'm not hurt at all, and I'm going elsewhere. And you see, it's very associated with, okay, if you don't see me, I take it personal, right? But the trick is, with this Uranus, you don't have to take it personal. It's better for you. Rejection is God's protection. That is so true for all this Uranus square to the Leo planets, right? So that's what this energy is all about. Dramatic, unexpected changes, yes, but with enough stability as well to work through this. And that's why I like this. It's from the heart's desire. It takes courage to be non-conventional. It's non-conventional energy. A lot of people in relationships will also want to try new things. It's common with Venus square Uranus. It's common. You want to do things that you've never done before in your relationship. And yes, okay. So another thing I forgot to say is that there is also healing capacity here. So I mentioned the Venus square Uranus is very important. The changes that we want to make, or that we can make. Then the stability we have because of the big trine. We call it a grand trine in astrology. And last but not least, that Venus, that is so important because it's going backwards and forwards and it's squaring up with this Uranus, that Venus is trining Chiron. So it just trined Chiron in Aries. And what that shows is that there is healing going on in our relationships, if we're open to it. And what do I mean by being open to it? Try and suggest that we are open to it. It means that we are not running away from pain. Sometimes when we want to see the truth in a relationship, it's painful. It's painful. And a lot of people put their heads in the sand, and it's easy to judge, isn't it? Because we are never ever in the shoes of another person and walking into their lives. It's easier to judge them. I would not recommend to judge others now. If you see them doing strange things and things that are really, really crazy or whatnot, because this is part of the healing process. It's going through the pain. It's not avoiding it. It's going right through it. And that takes a tremendous amount of courage. The people who are going to do that, who are going to be able and to not put this in front of their eyes, but looking like this, going through the pain, they are going to get the reward. And the reward will be a more honest life, a more free life, because that's the goal of all this Uranus energy, freedom. And we are free when we are not desiring anything anymore, because we are fulfilled within. Anyway, I can go on and on around this topic. Let's very quickly, because I don't want to make this a whole, video about exploring and in details and so on. No, just want to get to the core of all of this. Let's start with Aries. Aries, this is your love life. This is happening, this new moon in your 5th house. It is your heart chakra. So this is all about your children or a loved one, or your projects, or the way that you want to enjoy yourself. There is novelty here. And it has to do with your self-worth, because Uranus is there trying to shake up your self-worth in order for it to be more true to who you are. And what's going to help you is the Mercury and Mars in Virgo in your 6th house. So what's going to help you is the discipline of doing your day-to-day work. It sounds weird, I know, but it's going to help you. Okay, so be bold. Do make those changes. Some people will say like, oh, I'm 40 years old and I'm still thinking of wanting a baby. It's now or never. It's that kind of energy. And it's a beautiful energy for sure. It could be a new romance as well. It's definitely going to be exciting. And to ground you, you do your day-to-day stuff. You make sure you eat 3 meals a day, doing your exercises and blah, blah, blah. It's that kind of energy. Taurians, very important for the Taurians, because this is all happening in fixed signs. I mean, this new moon, and you are a fixed sign as well. This is happening at the core, the bottom of your chart. This is all about your emotions. This is all about your security, and the security that only one person can offer. So stop trying to get security via other people, and give yourself the security that you need. That's in a nutshell, because this Uranus is in your 1st house. So the changes are within you. You could do some stuff that other people are really having a look at. What is this lovely Taurian person doing? Because you are fed up with something that has to do with your emotions. And so the knowing, what can help you is the 5th house. What can help you is looking at what your heart desires, is looking at what you truly, the creation that you want to do in life, the things that you love to do, and doing them boldly, unapologetically, or something like that. Anyways, so be your own provider. That's, on an emotional level. That's a very important something. Geminis, this is very, very nice energy for you, because this is a sextile to your energy, this new moon. It's in the 3rd house, so there could be newness in communication, lots of communication, and it squares up to Uranus in the 12th. So there could be some short trips abroad that you're doing, and you're having a lot of fun there. Or there could be also changes that you're doing around communications with out of the blue. Could be that with siblings, with neighbors. That could be new things evolving around that topic. You could be making a new website. If you have your own business, for instance, you could be making changes there in a new way. And what helps you is the 4th house. So being active at home, doing lots of conversations with relatives or with people that you invite at home. That can really give you comfort, and that can really give you emotional fulfillment. Cancerians, this is in your 2nd house. So the 2nd house is your value. How do you see yourself? How do you value yourself? And there's something new developing in the 11th house, because the square to Uranus is in your 11th house, which is your goals. There's some new goals waiting for you for the future. It's also the house of friends and associations. So friends could be an inspiration for reevaluating yourself, basically, and what is important in your life and what is not. So there's a true kind of mini or maxi revolution going on for you. It's a lot about power struggles as well. So watch out for that. The power struggles, you're probably fed up with it, and you have an opportunity here to change that. So stop looking for validation outside of you. You don't need it. You think you do, but you don't. Stop being needy around things that other people have to give to you, like validation. Because it's empty. It's an empty thing. It's you're not going to feel fulfilled. Yes, for the short run, but not for the long run. So start validating yourself with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's going to be giving you a new sense of value. What can help you is conversations. The 11th house, where Uranus is, the friends and new goals, is trining Mars and Mercury in the 3rd house. That means very grounding, good understanding conversations with friends about your goals for the future. And they are very supportive and very grounding. So make use of that. They are there. And they can help you, and you can help them as well with new projects, the future. The 11th house is a very future-oriented house, so it's time for you to think about your future. Leos, of course, Leo, this is all for you. What I said in the beginning, it's happening in your 1st house. And if you've got a birthday around this time, wow, that is a life-changing year for you, where you can make a lot of changes. And it could be triggered by your work. You know, Uranus in the 10th. So there is novelty there. And definitely you wanting to have more freedom. But of course, it takes courage, right? It takes courage to become your own boss. It's risky, right? It's what entrepreneurship is all about. Not all of you are going to do that, of course. Some people are not even working anymore. Maybe you're 72 and you're saying, Veerle, what the hell are you talking about? But this is how the universe, or how you express yourself towards people around you, towards your contribution to society, is definitely some novelty there and some new beginning, a new profile. Maybe you have done some changes in your looks even to show others, like, this is the upgrade that I'm getting here, and this is a new me here. And what helps you is the confidence. From the 10th house to the 2nd house is also the money. There could be money available, and more available for you because you hustle for the money. Or there could be more confidence available, and because of that, you are ready to make the changes, to be more independent in general, right? Because this Uranus is squaring you. Very interesting energy. Virgos, this is happening in a secret area of your life, which is the 12th house. The 8th house, the 12th house, are secret houses, are houses behind the scenes. And the 12th house is a very unconscious house. So it could be a couple of things. And it squares up to Uranus in your 9th house. So it has to do with travel, or it has to do with your belief system, what you believe in. There could be new beliefs coming up for you, and that shakes up your worth. your self-worth. Your self-worth could be a little bit more low now, or at least a bit more behind the scenes. You're a bit more, you could say, not up in front and out there, right? That is going to be when Venus is going to be in your sign. And that's until October. So that's still a while there. But Venus in the 12th is good for doing things a bit on your own, you know, and spend some time with yourself. Go to faraway places. It can really, really, you know, it can really nurture you. You can really enjoy yourself very much. To do private stuff. Of course, the 12th house is a hidden house, and secret relationships are connected to this. Venus in the 12th. It could be that there is a Venus rules women, so there is a secret enemy, a woman, that you have to be a bit more careful of. It could also be that you have, let's say you're single, for instance, and you're falling for someone who's not. That is Venus in the 12th house. You know, you cannot express those feelings that you have. And with Uranus, it can be quite a little bit all over the place. But the thing is, what helps is expressing yourself, because at the same time, you're having a lot of energy in the first house, which is where Mars and Mercury is. So if you express what you want, Mars and Mercury, I mean, Mars conjunct Mercury, that is saying what you mean and meaning what you say, it's going to come back to you in that same, or more chances is that it's going to come back to you in that same manner. So there's a lot about things that are happening behind the scene. And don't put your head in the sand, right? Don't pity yourself, or, you know, Venus in the 12th house sometimes is like, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. That is undermining yourself. It's no good for no one. And but the good thing about Venus in the 12th is relaxing, traveling, is doing things for charity as well. You know, people who are really in need, and doing some things that are related to maybe to philosophy, or the metaphysical way of life, because that's also the 9th house. But definitely do a lot. Like Mars in the first house is also like, especially when you feel that you're not worthy and you have a bit like the low confidence, go and work out. Mars in the first house with Mercury, whew, that's dancing, that is, you know, doing all kinds of stuff with your body, you know, getting physical is really, really going to help you to go through these unconscious energies, right? It's, it's really going deep in that respect. Librans, lovely energy for the Librans, because this is happening in your 11th house. So there could be new beginnings and endings as well, around friendships, around goals for the future. And it's all of a sudden Uranus in the 8th house. So it's because you understand the value of others better, or something comes up that has to do with value of others. It could be money as well. It could be you borrowed some money to a friend, and you know they say, I'm not going to give it away, give it back to you, or whatever, and you end the relationship. That's a very simple expression of this. And but what trines all this energy is Mars and Mercury in the 12th house. So doing things behind the scenes, like writing, for instance, because it's in Virgo after all, do some journaling, and that's really, really going to help you to go through these processes of the changes with your friends. There's definitely changes there. There could be a friend that all of a sudden you understand something deep psychological that is going on with you, and you see a friend in a different perspective. You see like, oh my goodness, I didn't see that. I thought they were like this and they're the other way around, for better or for worse. So really interesting energies. Scorpios, very important energy for you, as you are also a fixed sign together with the with Leos, right? So this is happening in the highest point of your horoscope. So there you could be in the public, so to speak. And And it has to do with other people. You know, Uranus is in your 7th house of other people. So you could be going public, you could be, when it comes to your work, there could be an ending of an old job and then beginning of a new one. And there is excitement going on with other people as well. If you are single, you could be, because of a new job, you meet someone new. Could be the case as well. Whatever it is, there is new ways of relating in a relationship for sure. New ways of, what I said in the beginning is very applicable for you as well, for all the fixed signs. So not only for the Leos and Aquarians, but also for the Scorpios and the Taurians. So it's very applicable for you as well for that. And especially for Scorpios, they want realness, authenticity. So manipulation and so on can work for a while, or fear can really work against you. And but there's an opening up here. There's an opening up on key areas of your life, which is amazing. And what helps you is your friends, your goals for the future, because you've got this Mars Mercury in the 11th house. So if you're feeling a bit drained, if you're feeling that this energy is very unsettling because you're in the midst, for instance, in a transfer between the old job into a new job, go out and contact your friends, and they will give you stability by doing stuff with them, by talking with them. That can give you a lot of support, and true support, because it's Earth after all. Sagittarians, I do like this energy so much for you. This is amazing energy for the Saggies, because it's not only happening in your house, this new moon, the 9th house, of having epiphanies, of having an understanding of, it's the way how you look. It's your perspective. It's the pair of glasses that you are wearing. And it seems like you're wearing new pair of glasses, and you're healing because of that as well. Because of this trine. You have a grand fire trine as well. So we have those Leo planets in your 9th house, then your planet in Sagittarius in the 1st house, and then this Chiron in Aries in the 5th. So this is healing energy for sure. This is going bold. This is freedom. And most Sagittarians, or people who've got some Sagittarian in their chart, like a sun or a moon, or like me, for instance, a rising sign, they're going to feel this. The strength that this fire is providing, even though Venus goes retrograde. It's so supportive for you, especially if you've got planets around 15 to 29 degrees of Aries. Of Sagittarius, you're gonna feel this the most. But you feel very expressive. You feel very much in line with the divine, and you are going to feel a lot of support. Now, a standing Uranus squares up to your 6th house, so your day-to-day life could have some, unexpected, you have to adjust yourself the whole time. When you've got Uranus in the 6th house, it's like you plan to do this today, and a visitor comes along, or a family member stands in front of your door, and you have to drop everything. It's that kind of thing. But you're a mutable sign, so go with the flow with that a little bit, and it will definitely help you to find a new way of connecting with the divine, finding trust in the divine. The universe got your back. Go and travel. Go back to a country that you once visited. Go back to that study. It could mean someone that is doing exams as well. I'm thinking of my son, for instance, who's also having a Sagittarius rising. This is also falling in the 9th house. He's redoing an exam, and it is so good energy for that. And or if you're writing a book, or you're trying to re-edit that, it's amazing energy. So go for it. And it trines. So if you do find it that it kind of unsettles you in a day-to-day way, maybe also your health, that you're a bit more tired, or a bit more whatever it is, or more nervous, Uranus in the 6th house, work, because this Uranus is trining your house of work, which is in the 10th house, this Mars and Mercury. So it's putting a lot of energy in your work, a lot of communication in your work, and you're going to feel a little bit more grounded because of that. Not a little bit more, a lot more. If you don't work, put some energy out there, how you express yourself in the world, and how you want to be seen by people in general, and exude that positive, caring energy, because Virgo is a very caring sign. Capricorns, this is happening in your 8th house. Now, this is a hidden house, so this is not the easiest way to understand, but there could be new things that are coming up around fears, around things that you are afraid of, that are shadow work, and it squares up to Uranus in the 5th, so it has to do with your heart chakra. It has to do with love. It could be children or a love connection or a project that you're doing, and it's kind of very exciting. So it could be that you go into a new romance, for instance, or there is a new romance developing, but it kind of triggers you, right? And it's very common, when we meet new people or something becomes more intimate. These are, the 5th house is the house of sex, the 8th house is the house of intimacy. So this is about vulnerability. So you could be really, really scared to show who you truly are and to be naked. I mean, not only literally, but also figuratively. And you're challenged to do so. What can help you is your belief and your faith in the universe, or God, if you like, that the universe has your back. The trine to the 9th house where Mars and Mercury is. So the understanding of a philosophy, of a broader perspective, and going quite active in that to understand it. Mars and Mercury is very active energy. But there is something that could be revealed here that could have to do indeed also on a financial level. There could be some investments that is a bit risky here, I have to say it, with the 8th house, the 5th house. But with a bigger perspective, you can get through this. But for most people, I think it's a combination, or it's definitely on a deeper level. It's a meeting the shadow. And shadow work, when you do that, it makes you stronger, because it makes you less dependent, less attached, basically. So it's helping you to detach yourself a little bit from your heart's desire. You can have the desire, but detach from the outcome, I mean. Aquarians, wow, this is very important for your relationships. There's a new beginning here in the relationship, if you do have one. If you don't have one, there could be a new relationship forming here. But it's a very Uranian one, so it's a very exciting one, to say the least, and it kind of shakes up your emotions because of Uranus squaring up to it in the 4th house. So if you've been waiting for that, you feel that you're at a crossroads, some Aquarians, this is going to be that moment where there's going to be either it's going to break up or make up. It's one of both. One of these, or both. Yeah, you could say. No, it's one of these. It's one of these. The breakup or the makeup. It depends on your story if you are in a relationship, but there is a tendency of an ending and a new beginning in an existing relationship that has to be made here because of the honesty. So really listen to the first part. It's for you, because it's very much for all of 4 fixed signs, the Aquarians, the Leos, the Taurians, and the Scorpios in particular. So it's very much about truthfulness and honesty in your relationship. And what can help you is the metaphysical, is like psychology and delving deep into your own psyche because of the trine of Mars and Mercury in your 8th house. So it's exploring maybe the occult, maybe astrology. That's going to help you to understand yourself better. And the more you understand yourself better, the better you can relate to others as well, because you know where they're coming from. And you're more at ease, and you're more forgiving, and you're more understanding. So yeah, relationships very important. And if you're single, you could indeed meet a new connection. Absolutely, it's a very it's a connection that has unconventional energy around it. That's not a good thing or a bad thing. It is what it is. Unconventional, I mean, there could be an age difference, or there could be a difference in culture. There could be that this person or you are traveling a lot, so that you can't see each other, that you have to see each other on and off. Whatever it is. It's definitely an invitation for healthier relationships, for sure. Pisceans, this is happening in your 6th house, this new moon. So there is, you could say, a rebirth. So an ending and a rebirth beginning with your day-to-day life. So your day-to-day life, because of some news you're getting, because it squares up to Uranus in your 3rd house, there could be a total change around your work. There could be newness around your health that you want to implement here. And that has to do really with breaking free from a new style of communication as well, and a new way of thinking. It relates other people as well, because guess what? Mars and Mercury are in your 7th house of relationships. So a relationship, a significant relationship, can help you with changing the way that you think, with changing how you communicate, with the truthfulness about that communication and the realfulness, and doing that on a day-to-day basis, right? In that 6th house, your routines, there could be a shift there in your day-to-day life. There could be an old job that you're giving up and a new job coming in. There could be changes around your health as well, that you're finding out something, some information. And you could be consulting if you're having something that is significant for your health, for instance, and you're looking for a good doctor or a good therapist or whatnot. This is this Mars Mercury person, clever, active, detail oriented, and ready to help you in the 7th house. So a lot of stability there with that 7th house, although it might be quite active. So expect your life to be a bit more social around this time, and I'm sure you're going to love that. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and all the best with this very exciting new moon. Bye-bye.